Ladies and gentlemen, boys and NBs, welcome back to Warzone, and we need to talk about Resurgence loadouts because there are a bunch of bangers out there right now, and quite a few are flying under the radar. So I'm back once again to throw bread at you peasants like chicken fingers at a football game. Make sure you catch them because I'm taking the last box home with me. Before we get into this, make sure to like the video and subscribe if you are new here. We are absolutely blasting off, and let's get into it. Alright, so first I did want to start with the D-Tier 30-06 loadout, specifically made for Rebirth, Fortune's Keep, and Vondel, all of your standard Rebirth modes. That's what all of these are for. However, this one is made to see through smoke. It has a 2.5 times zoom on it with the hollow therm, and it has zero recoil. It has a beautiful bullet velocity with a hit scan range of 40 meters. You do not have to lead your shots until you get to around 110 meters. This thing is phenomenal. Let's break it down and see why. And with this D tier, we're actually going to start with the Shadowcaster integrally suppressed barrel, and this is going to give us bullet velocity and recoil control, though it will slightly hurt our ADS and sprint to fire. We're going to pair this with the Rifleman stock for aim stability and a ton more recoil control, throwing on the paracord grip to round that out. Then of course, 40 round mag is the largest we have, and then the SZ hollow therm so we can see through smokes and get a bit of zoom and remove all of the little bit of visual recoil this gun has. This build is absolutely perfect for any of the small maps because it has the velocity and the damage range by default to absolutely slap people across the map. With this build, we have the mobility of an assault rifle while carrying a battle rifle. And you know, I'm gonna pair that with my favorite SMG, the Striker 45 or the HK UMP, whatever you wanna call this thing. And this build is absolutely the best build for the There's nothing better. This is, in my opinion, the absolute best SMG in the game, though there is one better on paper. This one is just right behind it, and it feels so dang good, and it flies and fries. And to do that, we're gonna start with the Shatter Strike suppressor just to keep us off the map. You can use the Sonic suppressor if you want to. You can even use the ECS or Quieter suppressor if you're okay with that visible laser to get a little more ADS. However, if you do so, you would swap off the laser for their ADS rear grip or sprint to fire rear grip. With this build, it's the Shatter Strike suppressor and then the 1 milliwatt quick fire laser to get additional ADS speed, the FSS priority tactical stock to give us stability, recoil control, and a little bit of movement. We're going to use the paracord grip to give this thing a huge boon to sprint to fire and get a bonus to a little bit of movement as well as horizontal recoil, even though we don't need the horizontal. You could use the DR6 hand stop here. I just prefer the huge boon to sprint to fire. 48 round mag is more than enough on the Striker, even in quads. This thing is silly good. I hope you know that by now. If not, take it out for a spin, especially with this build. And then next up, I wanted to talk to you about one of two of the guns I refer to as Old Faithful, and that is the Sig Spear or BAS-B, Bass Bravo as it's known in this game. This gun is definitely not at the top of the meta, but it would be at A tier level or just below the absolute top of the meta. It's a very easy gun to use, it gets the job done, and it's just all around a good gun at all ranges. And with this one, we're actually going to start with that Quartermaster suppressor because of how overpowered it is. We're not going to use a long barrel because we don't need to push our range or velo because once again, we're easily able to kill people at 100 meters without problem. We're going to use the FTAC SP10 angled grip to get 12% horizontal recoil, but more importantly, our firing aim stability. We're going to throw on the SZ 1 milliwatt PEC to up that ADS once again. And then we're going to throw on the 45 round mag. It's the largest option we have. And then we're going to use the optic of your choice here. BAS-B, always feeling good. So if you're just looking for something new and you haven't used it in a while, it's definitely a good option. However, I am pairing that with a gun that we have all used to absolute death, and it is still incredible, that being the Saperi 46. We all know what it does, so let's just break the build down. And with this one, we're actually going to start with that ECS or Quieter suppressor. Same as before, use the Sonic or the Shatter Strike if you prefer. I just want to speed this one up. We're going to use the paracord grip to remove any horizontal recoil from the gun left over from the Rescue 9 stock, removing the recoil, giving us movement speed, and even upping our aim down sight. We're then going to add the Phantom grip to up our aim down and sprint out, and then of course 40 round mag because it's our largest option. This is the most balanced build. For an SMG in the game, this is definitely the easiest SMG to use. It feels phenomenal, but it does not have the range that it used to, so I would definitely say it is probably in about 4th place in the overall meta. However, Saperi is still an absolute demon. And hey guys, my name's Nolsey, and I make videos about things that I like, so please make sure to like the video if you're still here, because clearly you like my content, and definitely check that you're subscribed, because I would hate for you to get stuck in a line longer than all of the lines in Disney World. Let's get back into it. Next up, I want to talk to you about the MTZ 762 with the aftermarket part, because this feels like the AMAX from Warzone 1. It absolutely slaps. It's phenomenal. I cannot say enough good things about it. Our velocity is around 900 here, which gives us a hit scan range of 45 meters, and we don't have to lead shots to 110 meters. And with the build, we're going to use the Quartermaster Suppressor once again here. We're going to use the MTZ Precision Long Barrel, because this is going to give us our aim stability, but it's also going to up our velo and range, because we didn't really need any more recoil control. AimOp V4 is the optic I prefer here. Use what you like. We're going to use the Heretic Kit, of course, to convert this over to an AR from a battle rifle. And then, of course, the 40-round mag is our largest option, and it's more than enough. This thing hits like an absolute dump truck, and it has a huge headshot multiplier. If you haven't used this in a while, pull it out, slap kids around. It is so much fun. It is good in close quarters and good at long range. That's why I'm also pairing it with the Spaz 12 or Reclaimer 18, and this is a tack stance semi-auto build that will absolutely 2-shot to about 8 meters, 3-shot to about 14, and you can dump an entire quad if you know what you're doing. And with this, we're going to start with the Bryson choke, because this is the choke that brings all of the pellets from the buckshot as close together as possible, making sure we do maximum damage. We're then going to throw in the Discourager 900 heavy barrel to push our range as far as we possibly can. GRV Z short grip to give us the tack stance boost. You can use the Bastion grip here, you're just going to be slower. The GRV is much better in my opinion, especially when paired with the no stock and the Haste XV grip, because these all give tack stance and they up your movement, where the Bastion will hurt it. This build absolutely slaps. I am in love with it. However, we do need to talk about a gun that has obviously been in the meta since the day it released, and that is the STG-44. And this build, once again, this thing's good up close. It's good at 100 meters, gets the job done everywhere. And with the build, we're going to start with the Stalker 9 suppressed barrel, keep us off the mini-map, up our aim down sight speeds, and just get everything done. It does not hurt our range to use the integrally suppressed barrel in this gun, so it is a win-win. Jack Glassless is my optic. Use the one of your choice. The Igneous L5 stock. This is going to give us stability, recoil control, aim down sight, and I believe a little bit of movement. It is such an overpowered stock. I don't know why everyone isn't using it. Paracord grip to remove any horizontal recoil that is on this gun, so you simply have to pull down slightly on your stick to hit all headshots at 100 meters with ease. 40 or 50 round mag/drum is absolutely viable here. So in quads, I would probably go with the 50. Down in the solos, duos, trios, you can get away with the 40. STG-44, absolutely top tier meta. We all know it. And I'm pairing that with the creme de la creme of the SMGs, the BP-50 with the Jack Revenger kit. This is the best SMG in the game right now, bar none. And this one I actually have built out to be able to see through smoke, because I have the FSS Spectre as my optic, which allows me to see through smoke. And I also have this built to be able to be used in tack stance, Chimera laser, the CCG tack tape, of course, Quartermaster Suppressor to remove the recoil. If you do not want to use the Spectre and you're fine with the iron sights, just take the optic off and throw in the high grain ammo. This thing is absolutely incredible. I've got a few different builds for it, but this is definitely the easiest one to use. However, what is probably the easiest weapon to use in the game, the BAL-27 for mid-long range and absolutely clap cheeks up close when you need to. The BAL-27 is a monster. This has effectively 0 recoil and a less than 300 millisecond aim down sight speed, 800 bullet velocity, and an effective damage range of almost 50 meters. This is essentially the perfect gun. And for this build, we're going to start with the Quartermaster Suppressor and that paracord grip for the same reasons as always. 60 round mag is our largest option, so we're going to throw it on. Then we're going to use the Sandbar heavy stock for aim stability, a little bit more recoil control, and just make this thing absolutely flawless. I've got the Corio REX Pro on here because I love this optic. Feels good. Use the optic of your choice. Val 27, a top 3 AR, BR, mid-long range option. And then what is essentially one of the best sniper support options in the game, if you can control it, is also a top 5 SMG, and that is the Rival 9. The Rival 9 has came out of nowhere and became an absolute monster as this game winds down. For this one, we're going to use the Quartermaster Suppressor and the Paracord to get all of the recoil under control on this gun. We're going to use the Rival 38E Firestar barrel, and then the Bruin Flash of V4 stock to make sure we're flying and frying without affecting our damage rate. Rival 9 is an absolute demon. It is essentially equivalent to the Bass P from last year when it was in its prime. Love this thing. The irons are incredible on it. If you haven't used it, give it a shot. And then, speaking of last year, there are actually quite a few guns from Modern Warfare 2 that are in the top of the meta right now. In particular, the M13B or M13 Bravo, the SIG MCX as it's known in real life, is an absolute demon, especially in Resurgence. This thing feels like a pea shooter if you're not hitting upper body or heads, but if you do hit upper body and head, you will delete somebody faster than the DTIR. This gun is absurd, though it does only have a 750 meter per second bullet velocity, which gives us a hit scan range of about 37 meters. Quartermaster Suppressor to remove any gun kick and essentially almost all of our recoil. FTAC SP10 angled grip primarily for the aim stability, but we're also going to get 12% horizontal aim recoil control. 5.56 high grain to up our range and velo. Being a short barreled rifle, we need to push up that velo so we can actually push our range. 60 round mag, largest option we have. Then I've got the Quarters Classic on here because I keep swapping between optics on this gun. They all feel good. M13B is a demon. Give it a shot if you haven't used it in a long time, as I know a lot of you haven't. And then one of the top 3 SMGs in the meta right now, I would honestly say this is directly behind the Striker in number 3, the Ram 9 coming out of nowhere with a shadow buff, making it an absolute demon, frying everyone and just getting the job done. For this build, I have the ECS Requiter Suppressor. Once again, Shadow Strike or Sonic work here as well. Paracord grip to remove all of that horizontal recoil, but also up that sprint to fire is such a big deal. Retort 90 grip tape to remove a little bit more recoil control, then the motion tack pad to up our movement speed and a little bit of aim down sight. 50 round mag, the largest option we have, and we definitely need it with this fire rate. The Ram 9 is absolutely insane. If you haven't used it in a while, once again, rip this thing out and shred a lobby. And then another meta of yesterday is back at the top, and that is the Holger 5.56. Though we only have 40 rounds, you can easily fry an entire quad with those 40 rounds at long range. This thing has this silly TTK, and it hits like an absolute truck with essentially 0 recoil. For the build, we're going to use the Quartermaster Suppressor and the Krios 6 match barrel. We don't need a foregrip because this removes essentially all of the recoil from the gun, and it's going to up our velocity and range. SC 1 milliwatt PEC to give us the aim stability that we need, the optic of your choice, and then of course the 40 round mag. Holger 5.56 is absolutely top of the meta, and it is a very easy gun to use, especially in solos. So if you're going in solo on the big map, this is definitely a good option for, say, sniper support. However, being a Resurgence list, I actually have this paired with the HRM9, which is another gun resurrected from days of meta old. The HRM9 is back up in the A tier of the meta. This thing absolutely fries, but it does pull hard to the left unless you literally destroy its aim down sight, putting all recoil attachments on. The HRM9 is an absolute demon in the right hands, and this is the best build for this gun. Once again, pick one of the 3 suppressors between the ECS Requiter, the Shadow Strike, or the Sonic Suppressor. I prefer the ECS, so that's what we're going with. Paracord grip to remove as much horizontal recoil as possible and up that sprint to fire. 50 round drum, largest we got, so it's what we're going with. PCS 90 assault grip, and the folding stock for a bit more recoil control. We're going to have a 220 millisecond aim down sight. We're going to fry out to about 18 meters. The HRM9 is a damn demon, and no one's using it, and I don't know why, much like the Ram 9. All right, boys, that's going to do it for me. Until next time, leave me alone and like the video.
I don't want to do anything that I don't like. I just want to feel Saturday Night Live. I don't want to if it get in my way, then